Good Sunday morning, YouTube and Facebook. How you doing? I am Kendrick, the sports guy. Hope you all are having a good start or a good, almost close to your weekend. Bear with me now. My Wi-Fi was kind of doing something funky last week. Hopefully, it won't do that during the show. But again, it is Kendrick. I am Kendrick, the sports guy with TFG Sports Media, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SportzHustle. Again, come in. Make sure you like, comment, share this live stream to your social media platforms. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscription button and then hit it twice so you can get all the alerts when you get new content, live streams, and all that good stuff is coming your way. Again, you got to come in here and Club Kendrick, I call it. You got to let me know what you're watching and where you're watching from. So leave me a comment. Make sure you checking this out again. Make sure you speak to the host. That's all I ask. Again, and if you would like to contribute to this platform, there's a little thank you or a little $ if you're watching on YouTube where you can contribute if you would like. You're not obligated to help me build the platform. So again, come in, join as well. And man, and check it out. I'm also on TikTok. You can follow me over there, Kendrick Henderson 51. I got some people over here talking fantasy football. Dylan Lamont, I hear you. Thanks for popping in. I got Tyler Eunice asking about Dak or Daniels. I would probably Daniels. They say he's probably going to play, so I probably would go with Daniels. But that's just me. Serious question. DJ Moore or Javonte Williams at flex? Anybody in the chat on TikTok want to answer that for Spatty? I would say probably go with DJ Moore. Anybody else? You know, and then I see somebody else pick one. Chubb, Tracy Jr., Tillman, or McMillan. Then we got Vicente Reyes saying DJ Moore, Chuba Hubbard at flex. You got a lot of choices there, guys. So y'all go ahead and get that on. We're going to talk a little sports. We're going to talk about this NFL. We in week 8. We're really going to be talking about contenders and pretenders. We at that point now we can talk about who's a contender and who's a pretender. Because we at the halfway point. We're gonna talk about that, but let's get into the NFL Week 8 noon games. Let's look at the schedule. What we got on the schedule. I also got my pick 6 that I'm gonna be talking about. Kendrick's pick 6, where I pick 6 games, give a winner and a score, and I'll let you know how my record is at this point. But again, we got some noon kickoffs coming up. We got the Ravens at the Browns. We got the Titans at the Lions. We got the Cardinals at the Dolphins. The Jets at the Patriots. The Falcons at the Buccaneers. That's a big NFC South showdown. And the Packers at the Jaguars. And the Colts at the Texans. That's a big AFC South showdown. So let's start off with I believe it's the Browns, the Ravens at the Browns. I think if you want to talk about one of the hottest teams in the NFL, you have to put the Ravens there, just as well as the Chiefs, as well as the whole NFC North division. If we want to talk about the hottest teams, the whole NFC North, I got to give a plug out to my Packers. That whole division is hot. Matter of fact, that the NFC North division, as a record, they are 19-7. The NFC North right now. So that's what we're talking about. But the Ravens at the Browns. The Browns are 1-6 at this point. I think this season is a wash for them. They lost Deshaun Watson last week to a torn Achilles, and the Browns fans was booing him, and I thought that was somewhat tacky. I don't think you ever want to boo when a player is hurt, regardless if you like him, his character, or whatever. I just think that ain't the right thing to do, and I just think that was tacky. But again, so Jameis Winston is the guy under center for the Browns. He's going to be the guy from here on out. Again, Deshaun Watson is done. It's again, they got Nick Chubb back, so they can kind of get back to without that. They can get back, kind of lean on the running game a little bit more. So we'll see with that. As far as the Ravens, what can you say about the 1-2 punch of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? You got to pick your poison with those guys. I don't know how you stop them. I mean, they are the best rushing team in the league. by far, hands down. I think the Packers are right behind them. Now, the Ravens are right now, them and the Chiefs are the teams I think to beat in the AFC. And I said that from the beginning of the season. Ravens are sitting, they looking pretty good in the AFC North at 5-2. Speaking of that division, that has always been one of the more competitive divisions in the last 5-6 years. The AFC North has always been competitive. Right now, they're struggling a little bit as a division. Now, what's interesting too, the HBO Hard Knocks, they will be doing a special in-season, not documentary, I call it a docu-series. They will be doing a in-season docu-series on the AFC North. And I think the actual season premiere will be the first Tuesday in December. So they're going to be previewing this division when it's really in the heat of that division race. Right now, it looks like it's the Ravens and Steelers. It's just, but the Bengals, they kind of coming on. They 3-4. So we'll see. Eli says Kyler or Purdy. I would go with Purdy, Eli. I just found out that talking fantasy football. I'm live on TikTok as well. Debo is going to play. He's questionable, but he's going to play. And George Kittle is going to play as well. Someone says start Cousins or Lamar Jackson. I will start Lamar Jackson, hands down. He's going to give them Browns fits today. That's what I would do. That's just my opinion. But again, so the Ravens at the Browns again. That's one of my pick'em games. I'll pick them a little later. Another game to keep your eye on is a big AFC South showdown between the Colts at the Texans. The Colts are 4-3. The Texans are 5-2. They coming off their loss to my Packers last week. And if the Colts win this game, this division is tied. And I said that the Texans was going to run away with this division. And pump your brakes, not so fast. So here we go. We again, who are the contenders and who are the pretenders? We're gonna talk about that a little later in a different segment, but this is a perfect example of that. Again, the Colts, Anthony Richardson has struggled. I'm assuming he's going to start again, but he struggled. He's had injuries in his second season. The Texans, they're a pretty good squad. I think they've had a couple of hiccups on defense, but they've lost one of their main weapons, Nico Harris, I believe. I think he's out another 3 games for C.J. Stroud. But they got Joe Mixon and they got a nice little running game. They've won some games by the hair on their chin too. And it's in the NFL, a win is a win. Sometimes it's better to be good. It's better to be lucky than good. So the Texans have kind of got off on one, but this is going to be a matchup that we're going to watch. Colts at the Texans. Again, that's a noon kickoff. Again, the winner of that game will be in first place in the AFC South at the halfway point. So there you have it. Another good game. Bears at the Commanders. Got the 4-2 Bears at the NFC East leading 5-2 Washington Commanders. People were wondering, is Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback, number 2 pick for the Commanders, and he's playing well. He's balling out under Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury's offensive coordinator. He has some rib injuries. They were saying he was going to be week to week, but right now it looks like he's going to play, according to all reports that I read earlier, that Jalen Daniels is going to start at quarterback for the Commanders. The Bears going against the number 1 pick, Caleb Williams, who's played well the last couple of weeks, got the Bears sitting at 4-2. So I think this is probably going to be one of the better games in the afternoon to watch. That is one I definitely want to check out. We want to see the 2 rookie quarterbacks go head-to-head. The Bears at the Commanders. Again, the Bears are 4-2 in that tough NFC North division. The Commanders are 5-2. They sit in the top of the NFC East. Just a game ahead of the Philadelphia Eagles. Speaking of the Eagles, they are 4-2. They are at the 3-4 Bengals. Looks like the Bengals are finding their groove a little bit. Joe Burrow has played well. You wouldn't know Jamar Chase was in a contract trying to get some more money because he's balling out too. Now, T. Higgins, according to reports, he may not play. He's questionable. So that'd be one weapon that Joe Burrow might not have coming up in about an hour and 30 minutes. Eagles. I don't know what to say about this team. Head coach Nick Sirianni has been catching heat from the Philly fans, and we know the Philly fans don't play. They a tough group to impress. Jalen Hurts has kind of been his magic hasn't been there. But look like they trying to find a foot. And they got Saquon Barkley. And that's been a help to this offense because he had a damn good game versus his former team, the Giants, last week. So maybe the Eagles are finding their groove now. So that's going to be a tough matchup. Eagles at the Bengals. We know the Bengals can put up some points. They can put some points up. So that is going to be one of the games we definitely going to be keeping our eye on. And then the Sunday night game that I know everybody is wondering who's going to win this because both of these teams, quite frankly, they banged up. And we got the 3-3 Cowboys at the 3-4 49ers. The Niners have had the Cowboys number for the last couple of years. So who you got? We're going to talk about that in my Kendrick's Pick 6. But I think both these teams are just they need a win by any means necessary. Now it's being reported that Cowboys will have Dalvin Cook. They signed him to the practice squad a week before the season started, but he will be in San Francisco. He will play versus the Niners. We know the Cowboys' run game is pathetic at this point. Rico Dowdell has been their best running back. DJ Dwayne Juice, what's up, Juice? My good brother, them boys, yeah. So they 3-3 coming off a bye, which they could have get some people healthy, but unfortunately they won't have their linebacker defensive end Michael Parsons. He is out. He will not play tonight versus the Niners, nor will Pro Bowl cornerback Deron Bland, who's coming off that foot surgery. He hadn't played yet. He won't play tonight either. Plus, so the Cowboys are banged up. The Niners are banged up. Again, Deebo Samuel is scheduled to play. He had pneumonia last week, so he didn't even finish the game. He just got out the hospital on Tuesday. George Kittle is questionable. He got some sort of foot problem, but he's probably most likely going to play. They already out. Brandon Ayuk, he's out for the year. Suffered a ACL, MCL tear. He's out for the year. You got a couple of other people banged up as well. So both of these teams are kind of like the walking wounded. It's been a lot of injuries. All these teams are fighting it at this point. Saints, I think, has probably got the most injuries out of anybody. They damn near probably needing to go have another draft or something because they really hurt. But again, Niners, Cowboys, I don't even have to say much about this rivalry. This rivalry's been going on since the 80s, man. And, both these teams, again, they trying to stay afloat right now. The Niners are 3-4. So they desperately need a win. I mean, but the one good thing about them, they play in that NFC West. And the NFC West, which is being led by Seattle at this point, as far as a division record-wise, they're 13-15 as a division. So the Niners, they are not out of it by no means. So they definitely could use a big win on tonight. Cowboys could too. They want to, if they go down to 3-4, that puts them. They already 2 games back as far as the win column with against the Commanders. They still a game back behind the Eagles, and they hadn't played either one of those teams yet. That's California. Go Pack, go! Yeah, I feel you. Y'all ready? It's always a great day to be what? That's my saying. A Packer fan. So I got my mug. I got to throw that in there. So again, Cowboys Niners. That is the Sunday night game. That is the game that everybody is going to probably be looking at. I'm going to give my prediction on that game and 5 others here in our segment in just a few minutes. DJ say, oh, Lord, you already know DJ Juice. It's always good to be a Packers fan. All right, let's get down to some NFL news and notes. We're going to talk about some things that kind of went down this weekend, this past week. We already know, again, Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson is out for the season with a torn Achilles. And I think at this point, Deshaun Watson's season is his career, man, is at a crossroads at this point. Because I think the Browns are going to try to look for a way to get out from under that contract. So that's another news and notes. We had a trade this week. 5-time Pro Bowl wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. The Titans traded him to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are reloaded because they losing wide receivers and they just find another one and replace him. So DeAndre Hopkins will play. According to Coach Andy Reid, he's going to play today. The Chiefs are the only undefeated team left in the league at 6-0. So that was some big news that happened as well, because I know these teams are, again, got injuries all over the place. Again, Jameis Winston, he's been named the starting quarterback for the Browns. Also, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, he was cleared to come back to practice on Wednesday, and he will start today. He may not start, but he's going to play, according to head coach Mike McDaniel. He will play today versus the Cardinals. The Dolphins their offense have been, again, it's been trash too since he's been out. Tyler Huntley hadn't been able to do much, but again, so Tua Tagovailoa, he cleared concussion protocol. A lot of people saying that he probably shouldn't play again. Some people saying pleading with him to retire. He said he's not going to do that, so he is scheduled to play today. And again, Dallas Cowboys, Dalvin Cook, former Vikings running back, they signed him practice squad before the season started. He will play. Sometime he will get some play time against the Niners on tonight in San Fran. I see you, Sean. Go Pack, go. Go Pack, go already. Thanks for popping in. So those are some of the NFL news and notes that I wanted to give you. Now, let's talk about something I teased. We are at the halfway point of the NFL season. We're week 8. And I always say this. This is where you kind of the dust settles. So I want to know who are the contenders and who are the pretenders. Who do you think are the contenders at this point, and who do you think are the pretenders? Now, again, I'm going to give you the AFC records, the top 8 teams in both the conferences. I'm going to give you the top 8, what I think. So we got the Chiefs sitting atop the AFC at 6-0. We got the Ravens right behind them at 5-2. The Bills at 5-2. The Steelers at 5-2. The Broncos at 4-3, the Colts at 4-3, and the Bengals are at 3-4. Those are the top 8 teams in the AFC record-wise. Let's move over to the NFC. We got the Lions sitting at 5-1, the Commanders at 5-2, the Vikings at 5-2, the Bears at 4-2, the Eagles at 4-2, the Hawks at 4-3, that is the Seahawks, and the Falcons at 4-3. So those are the top 8 teams in each conference. Let's start with the AFC. Who do I think are the contenders? Definitely the Chiefs, the Ravens, I believe, and the Texans. Even though they've had a couple of hiccups, I definitely believe those 3 are contenders. Who do I think are pretenders? I think the Steelers are pretenders. I do. I think they've played well. I think Russell Wilson came in and did something. I think they might be pretenders. The Bills, I think they might be pretenders. Broncos, 4-3. Colts, 4-3. Bengals, 3-4. Definitely the Broncos, they are pretenders. I don't think Bo Nixon will be able to carry that team any further. 4-3, but that's great. The Colts are 4-3, and I definitely think they are pretenders. So my contenders in the AFC, I will have to concede. I think the Bills are contenders. So my contenders are the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Texans in the AFC. I think the pretenders are the Steelers, the Broncos, the Colts, and the Bengals. That's just my thoughts. Now, let's move to the NFC. We got, again, the Lions 5-1, Commanders 5-2, Vikings 5-2, Packers 5-2, Bears 4-2, Eagles 4-2, Seahawks 4-3, Falcons 4-3. Definitely the Falcons are I think they are pretenders. Definitely the Lions are contenders. The Vikings are contenders. The Packers are contenders. The Bears, I'm going to throw a little shade. I think the Bears are pretenders. I think the Eagles are pretenders. The Commanders, I think the Commanders are contenders. Brandon asked, should I play Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams today? Woo, that's a tough one, Brandon. Jaden Daniels has both of them have played well the last couple of as far as defensive wise. I think the Commanders' defense is a little you can get some yards on them. So I will go with Caleb Williams on that. So my contenders in the NFC, definitely the Lions, the Vikings, the Packers, and I think that's it. I think the Commanders may be pretenders. I think the Bears may be pretenders. I think the Eagles may be pretenders. Definitely the Seahawks and definitely the Falcons. Now, let's talk about some of these three-win teams. The Chargers are 3-3. The Cowboys are 3-3. The Cardinals are 3-4. The Rams are 3-4, and the Niners are 3-4. All these teams are the crossroads because I think if they suffer two more losses, either one of any of these three-win teams, if they lose two more times, regardless, I think that's a wrap for them. I think it's a wrap. I definitely don't think none of these teams right now are contenders. The Chargers, the Cowboys, the Cardinals, the Rams, the Niners. Now the Rams are playing pretty well. They had that big win Thursday night over the Vikings, 30-20. They got their receivers back too. They top receivers. So they offensively, they look pretty good. The Niners, I don't know with this team. They the walking wounded, as well as the Cowboys. But I think if any of those three-win teams, if they suffer two more losses down the road, I think that's a wrap. I think that's a wrap for them. So that is my contenders and pretenders. Now we get to my pick six. Let's go ahead and do this pick six thing. This is where I pick 6 games and I give my thoughts and what score and who will win that game. All right, our NFL Week 8 pick 6 tonight. We got the Ravens at the Browns, 5-2 Ravens at the 1-6 Browns. We got the 1-5 Titans at the 5-1 Lions. We got the 4-3 Colts at the 5-2 Texans. We got the 4-2 Eagles at the 3-4 Bengals. We got the 4-2 Bears at the 5-2 Commanders, and we got the 3-3 Cowboys at the 3-4 Niners. As far as the Ravens at the Browns, I think this game, it's a big AFC North game. Always, you never know what happens, but Browns don't have a chance. I'm going with the Ravens 31-16. The Titans at the Lions. I don't think the Titans got a chance either. The Lions offensively, they can put up some points. I'm going with the Lions with this one, 33-17. Got the 4-3 Colts at the 5-2 Texans. I think the Texans are still smarting over taking that L from my Packers last week. I think they're going to get the big W at home, 31-13. The 4-2 Eagles at the 3-4 Bengals. The Bengals are playing a lot better. I think they've won 2 in a row. So I think it's going to be 3 in a row. I think the Bengals it's going to be close. I think the Bengals get the win, 31-28. The 4-2 Bears at the 5-2 Commanders. This was a toss-up because I didn't know if Jaden Daniels was going to play or not, but according to reports, it looks like he's going to play. I think this game will be close, but I think the Bears will get the win, 24-21. Then the 3-3 Cowboys at the 3-4 Niners, the Sunday night game, man. I did flip a coin. Actually, I didn't. I'm only picking the Cowboys because I think the Niners, they a little bit, I think offensively they may have some hiccups. The Cowboys aren't going to, I think they're not going to play that well offensively, but they're just going to do enough. I think the Cowboys are going to find a way to get a win off a bye. The Cowboys 21-18 over the Niners. So those were my Kendrick's pick 6. Oh, by the way, if you want to know what my record is so far this season, last week what was I last week? Last week I was 4-2 with my pick 6. And now my record is 24-18. So I am moving on up like the Jeffersons. I'm moving on up. That record is looking a little better. So again, we're getting down to the end of the show. I want to thank all those that watched me on YouTube and Facebook. Even if you didn't comment, if you watch this later, make sure you comment. Make sure you even go through the pick 6. Pick the teams that you think win with a score. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Again, that's TFG Sports Media right here on YouTube, and subscribe to Kendrick Sports Hustle as well. And you can also follow me on Facebook. That is Kendrick Henderson, Kendrick Roline Henderson. You can also follow TFG Sports Media as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle on Facebook. You also follow me on Instagram at Kendrick1969. And you can also follow me on TikTok, Kendrick Henderson 51. I see a lot of people had joined me and dropped in. I want to thank everybody for the love, for the likes. I got 1,500 likes. I think that's the first time I've ever gotten that many likes on my Sunday morning preview show. I want to thank everybody for popping in and all that. If you haven't, make sure you click that follow button. Make sure you share this live as well. So my last moment, I got to say today, is a very emotional day for me. 19 years ago today, my brother Kaleem and I, uh, we laid our late mother, Carolyn Louise Henderson, to rest at the young age of 53. She lost her battle with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer after a 3-month fight. Our mother was diagnosed in July of 2005, and she would be gone in October. So today is somewhat an emotional day for me. Definitely a day of reflection. Is thinking about my mother. I think about her all the time, but on today, I definitely do. If you're watching me on YouTube or Facebook, I just posted one of the last pictures my brother and I took with our mother was Christmas. I believe it was 2003, 2004. And she has #1 and #2 on the picture because I was her #1 son and my brother was a #2 son. And not because of a favorite, it's because, thank you, Ruben, appreciate that. It's because she always, I was her firstborn. And my brother was her second son, and so my brother always he uses second son as a moniker. If you follow him, Kaleem Bey, he says Carolyn's second son. That's SEKONDSUN. So today is a day of reflection. She was only 53 years young, and I think about some of the things that she's missed. She never saw any of her grandchildren graduate high school. Matter of fact, my mother didn't even get to meet one of her youngest grandson. He was born in 2006. My nephew, my brother's son, Dalen. So there's a lot of things she missed. She missing seeing me do my thing here. She's not missing it. She's just looking at it in a different realm, I guess you want to say. She would probably be surprised because I was more of her reserved, quiet child, whereas my brother was her more outgoing and talkative child. So sitting here reflecting on her, it being almost 20 years, is definitely a void that'll never be replaced. You never get over it. You just learn how to deal with it. So I dedicate this show to my mother, the late Carolyn Louise Henderson. May you continue to rest in power, Mama. Your first son truly misses you, and continue on your peaceful journey. And I will also say to any women that watch this, to your loved ones, men, your sisters, your wives, whatever, encourage them to get those mammograms. Encourage them to get those mammograms. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so it's kind of a double. I don't want to say whammy that my mother passed in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and she passed from breast cancer. And I also have to dedicate this show to my pops. The last week in October, my pops, he passed away October 25th, 2023, at the age of 75 from liver failure and colon cancer. So I have to salute my pops, Willie James Reed, as well, because without him planting the seed, my brother and I wouldn't be here. So Pops, you continue to rest in power, and you continue on your peaceful journey as well. So again, this has been your sports guy, Kendrick. You can catch me here every Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m., giving you your NFL preview shows. So again, I hope everybody enjoy your NFL Sunday. Again, catch me back here again next Sunday, 10:30 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. So again, you guys have a good one. We will see you on the other side and on the next report. I am out. Peace.